Mali, up to 20 soldiers were killed and 30 wounded in a failed attempt by government forces to retake the Tuareg separatist stronghold of Kidal. Tuareg separatists said on Thursday they had seized control of several towns in northern Mali, but they are ready to respect calls for a ceasefire. Now, the fighting, the worst since the government and separatist groups signed a preliminary peace agreement last year, threatens to sink negotiations to end a long cycle of Tuareg uprisings and plunge Mali's desert north back into war. The army launched Wednesday's assault on Kidal after clashes erupted during a visit to the town recently by appointed Prime Minister Moussa Mara. Now, the government has accused the separatists of renewing their former alliances with al-Qaeda-linked Islamist group. Well, for more perspective, we are joined by Coumba Makalou, the Director of Communications at the Coalition for Democracy Education in Mali. Ms. Makalou, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you, Vincent, for having me.
Yes, it's good to have you, and for a long time we didn't even talk to you because things seem to be going back to normal in Mali.
Yes.
What really led to this recent escalation?
Well, I think when the current Prime Minister Moussa Mara visited Kidal, he challenged the MNLA basically by saying, "I will come up to your occupied territory and and speak." And they resented that. And the minute he stepped there, they started attacking. And this problem has not been contained. I mean, MNLA still has a strong presence in the northern part of Mali.
Mm-hmm. Now, there was a peace agreement, at least that was supposed to hold as issues are being resolved. What is it that has undermined that peace process?
Well, there haven't been peace talks. There hasn't been an agreement reached, really, of what's going to happen with the northern parts of Mali. We are still occupied by invaders and armed invaders and dangerous invaders. So as long as they're in that territory, there's truly no peace in Mali. As we've seen now, they can attack at any time, and we're defenseless.
But at the same time, some will say the authorities, the governor of Kidal, for example, is seen to be kind of in control of his area, and there is some element of support from that area. So how do you deal with that? Kind of there's local support for some kind of a separatist movement, but at the same time, the government in Bamako doesn't think there should be any separatist movement there.
No, I mean, this is our land. They've come in by force. And you can't just invade a country and say, we're going to have our own sovereignty in your country. That's just unacceptable. Even if they've been tolerated and there's been a ceasefire, there's been a peace agreement, the ultimate goal is for Mali to regain its entire
but there was, of course, an invasion of fighters from outside, but the other members of the Tuareg communities are also inhabitants of northern Mali.
Yes.
They're not all from outside.
They're not all, but recently the MNLA has also regrouped with those Islamic groups from the outside in terms of unity against the Malian population. So if they're separating themselves by choice from Mali, that's something that Malian government has no control over. And right now, they have declared that even though they are Tuaregs from Mali, they don't accept to be part of the Malian government that is established.
Now, they say they're willing to observe a ceasefire, which, of course, would be assumed would lead to some kind of peace talks. Question is, what's the way forward? What is it that must be done in order to restore peace to Kidal?
Okay. Well, we have to negotiate now. There's nothing to be done. We have to get allies, our support from the United Nations, from France, from any ally group, neighboring countries, and we have to get these MNLA representatives to talk and to have a concrete plan to move out of the situation. We need to negotiate.
Yes, very quickly. The international troops there, the French and others, are they playing any major role in maintaining peace?
Well, they're there basically to monitor what's going on. They did not intervene when MNLA attacked the Malian troops. Now they're helping with the wounded. They're not really active in participating in any fighting. But I'd like to make a point that France needs to realize that this is also a French-created problem because of the war in Libya. And, you know, this instability is also their responsibility to fix.
Exactly, and very complicated. Many times, yes. France is also being accused of being kind of involved in all those conflicts. And yes. we'll talk about this some other time.
Okay.
Hopefully,
sure.
More peace, Ms. Makalou.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're
Coumba
welcome.
Makalou is the Director of Communications with the Coalition for Democracy Education in Mali. We thank her for coming in today.